I upgraded from the second gen Nintendo Switch to the OLED model, and it is one of the biggest regrets I have. It's just not worth the money, and the benefits I thought I would get from the upgrade were not as good as I thought they would be. I switched from the original Switch to the OLED one because my right Joy-Con's A button was no longer working properly. I had to press it really hard in order for it to register. And that's annoying because when you're playing a game like Metroid Dread, you need it to register each time or you'll die. I also felt pretty depressed because I was returning a portable air conditioner, long story, but I wanted to feel better and I thought buying one of these would help. Not only do I regret this decision, but I also lost my copy of Breath of the Wild. Thank you, person who works at GameStop. They weren't that good at helping me transfer my data over, but that whole thing's another story. I was really excited to play games on a much bigger screen and to have new working Joy-Cons. And the kickstand was a big bonus too. I was also surprised by having double the amount of storage space on the device. This has 64, I believe the one I had 32 gigs. However, I didn't realize just how small games are on the Switch, and a lot of games aren't optimized for that. For example, Oxenfree 2, Hollow Knight, Overcooked. All of these games are great on a monitor or TV. However, when you play it on here, you're the size of a grain of rice. It's really annoying. Now, granted, Oxenfree 2 did have the ability to enlarge your text, but it still wasn't good enough. However, other games like Bug Fables and a lot of first-party Nintendo games like Metroid Dread or Pokemon Diamond, those played very well and looked great on the handheld. Big text with big icons, I wasn't squinting to try to read the text or anything. It's very comfortable. I'm currently playing Final Fantasy VII on this, and it runs like a dream. Of course, it's an old game, but it's just scaled perfectly for the handheld. Sadly, with the OLED display, it's very reflective, I noticed. So if you're playing a game that's dark most of the time, like Oxenfree 2, you're just gonna see yourself in the reflection, and it's really distracting, especially for me, someone with ADHD, to not just constantly look at myself instead of playing the game. It's really annoying. Not all games have this. Final Fantasy, Bug Fables, all these games, it's hard to find that reflection as well, but anything dark really affects you. I would also say when it comes to lighting, even if you have good lighting to game, while playing Oxenfree 2 in handheld mode, I had my light on the corner of the room. I was on the opposite side, and then the light bounced off the wall, bouncing to the OLED, bouncing to my face, so I could easily see myself. It's just annoying, because I'm not going to play in the dark. I need a backlight or something, you know? I'm not going to risk my eyes for that. As for the dock itself, it has a detachable back and a new Ethernet port. That's basically it. It looks nice. The edges are curved as opposed to the other one. There's actually some coating inside the dock where if you slide this back and forth through it, it's not gonna scratch the screen. I'm guessing that's true. My original Switch, I did buy one on launch day, that got stolen, a whole nother story. But with that one, I didn't experience any issues with scratching at all. I'm actually pretty careful with my stuff. So the biggest thing, and why most people buy this, is because they want the bigger screen. And while I did enjoy having the bigger screen on games that actually scaled well to the handheld, I don't think it was worth buying. Backtracking for a second, I played Pokemon on this in bed with a cup of coffee in the mornings, and having that kickstand is super nice. That's another big benefit of the OLED version, as opposed to the piddly little kickstand in the original. The things I wanted the OLED to do for me when playing games did not actually help when playing those games. Playing Hollow Knight, playing Oxenfree on the original Switch did not feel any different than on the OLED, which makes sense, but I thought the scaling would be better. So, you know, that is my fault. And like I said, I do regret buying this. Now, don't get me wrong, the OLED is a good console. It's a good Switch. And if you haven't owned a Switch before and you're looking about buying one, it is worth the extra $50. But for someone like me, who was just upgrading from the original, it wasn't worth it. It really wasn't. Now, the Switch has been out for about 6 years now, going on 7. I believe it came out in 2017. I remember getting it on launch day. I was waiting in Walmart and we had a whole line in the tech section for it to release. Walmart announced that they weren't going to release it. So we all packed up, went to Best Buy, and luckily they had extras there. You didn't need a pre-order, so thank God for that. But anyway, the Switch has had such a long life. And there are rumors right now of the Switch 2 or the next Nintendo console to come out. I would say wait for that. Fingers crossed on backwards compatibility. I don't think it's gonna happen. I genuinely don't. I want it to, but with Nintendo's subscription service, with the IV drip of games coming out for it, as well as just no compatibility from the Wii U to this or anything. And granted, I get it. It's a whole different console, it uses cartridges. I get that. I get that was a sacrifice they needed to take. But with the eShop down, with 3DS and Wii U, and not being able to link those two together, I really don't think backwards compatibility is going to happen. They can make so much more money by not having that. But anyway, I mention this because obviously if you don't have a Switch yet, there's no reason for you to say the Switch is worth buying. There obviously has not been a game or anything that you've wanted so badly to make you buy the Switch. Honestly, it seems like you would probably be more comfortable with a Steam Deck, for example. That's something I wish I spent my money on instead of this thing. So I would say wait for the new, console to be announced at least and see what's there, or spend money elsewhere. But if you are thinking about really buying a Switch, buy this one. With the caveat of saying, hey, it's already been 6 years, you might as well wait and get the next gen console should it come out. And there you go. That's the Switch OLED. We talked about what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, who I thought it would be worth it to buy, and what made it for me not worth buying. I hope you got something from this video. If you would like, please check out my others. And don't forget to take care of yourselves. Okay? I'll see you next time. Cheers.
Speak your mind, say what you're thinking. Just be you.